Hey everybody, and welcome to my In5 series in the SP404 mk2, where I cover a topic in about 5 minutes. I got a question in about how to use the SP404 mk2 to control and sequence the Korg Microsampler. I used to have one. It's a pretty fun little device, and I don't have it anymore, so I can't show you directly. But what I can show you is how to control a external synth and get it working. And you can see here, I've got the output and input going into the Akai MPC here. We can see the I/O is going. It's getting all kinds of Midi clock and other stuff. But if I go watch it, I don't know if you're able to catch it here. I'm playing the notes on the SP404 mk2. It's not sending anything over to the MPC though. So let's just go in and check a few settings, and I'll kind of discuss with you what these Midi settings are under system. So Midi sync out are both controlling whether or not, or how it gets synced. Auto is going to have it decide if it's going to take its own clock, USB or Midi. Midi sync out is whether it's going to send Midi sync. As soon as I turn this off, we're going to see it starts sending a lot less data. Now it's just sending active sense data over, and that's it. If I turn it back on, you'll see now it's got Midi clock going crazy. So let's just turn that off. I don't think we need to sync anything from the MPC or the SP404 mk2 as we're doing this. Sequence notes out is telling the SP404 mk2 whether or not it's going to send a note out from the sequencer out to an external device. You want this on if you're going to be using patterns and things to sequence and have it sent out. If you're not doing that and you're just using this as a Midi controller, turn that off. I'm going to go Midi pad note out. So if you want to actually control things, turn that on. Now you can hear, that was low, but it's sending that note over. So let's go up to a higher, let's exit out and go to a higher bank. So you can hear it's playing the audio from here, and I'll even show you. Just turn down the volume here. And you can see it's still playing stuff internally, but with the volume down, it's not doing anything. Let's go back into Shift Pad 13 for utility. I'm going to scroll down as well. So one thing to note is, besides having pad note on, so you can send notes out when you hit pads, I would probably, to avoid Midi loops, unless you know what you're doing, I would turn soft through off. Basically what that means is, when it gets a Midi event from an external device, does it pass it on to the next one in the chain, or is it just stopping? I would say off is probably usually what you want. I've got USB Midi through for the same reason. Set to off is I don't want something coming in from an external device or Midi and then getting passed back on. It's just an easy way to create loops, but sometimes you do want that. So if you understand what that's doing, go work with that setting. PCRX is just whether it's receiving program changes or not, which is going to be what allows you to actually change patterns. Midi mode A is, if you remember, each bank, A is assigned Midi channel 1, B, Midi channel 2, etc., up to J, which is Midi channel 10. And all of the pads are then assigned from each bank, all from C2, as you can see here, all the way to D sharp 1. So I guess, or maybe it's C1 to D sharp 2. So if you only wanted to play in that range, it's fine. But if you switch over to Midi mode B, then what happens is bank A through E is assigned Midi channel, in this case 1, and then F through J, in this case, is assigned Midi channel 2. And this is what allows us to now play these notes. The note offset is what allows you to change where the notes kind of start and end. So you can adjust that up or down 1 semitone per tick here. So you can go all the way up plus 35 and all the way down to minus 11. And unless you have a specific reason to do this, I would probably just leave it at 0. But with all these settings, as you can see, you can now send Midi over. So as long as the device that you have is listening, it should work just fine. Anyway, I know this isn't showing you how to set up the Korg Microsampler because I don't have it, but I'm hoping that this helps you figure out like what settings to kind of work through, what you should have on and off or set to different values. Hopefully it helps. Anyway, everybody, thanks for stopping by. Keep making music, keep having fun. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good, and peace.